Hello guys, welcome back to the seventh video in this series where we are using ArcGIS Map SDK with React.js. So in the last video, what we did was we added a marker on the map, which we did using the, if we come to our ArcGIS map view here, so we use a graphics layer and we created a graphic which holds a symbol and a point. So point it's used for coordinates and our symbol, which we have here. It's a customized symbol. So if last video we were looking at symbol builder also on the Esri website, which we can use to create a custom marker symbol. So in this video, what we will be doing is, as you can see here, so this is actually the component for map view, and we have added this graphics layer and all this code here. So now what we will be doing is we will be creating a separate component for this graphics layer, and we will be moving all this code over there. So let's come to the components and create a new folder, which will be naming ArcGIS graphics layer. You can name it anything. So just for the understanding or little clarity, I'm naming it like this. So like we have created map view, scene view, and web map, web scene. So actually these web map, web scene, these are all components. These are they are coming from here, this library, which we installed in the start, ArcGIS/core. So the to like differentiate from the this library, so we are giving it a different name here. So I will create index.jsx file in this one, and let's give our component the name. So it will be ArcGIS graphics layer. Okay, and of course we will be exporting this component, okay, to use in the other component. So let's do return. Actually, it will return nothing. So for now, I will not put any div or any element here. So now let's come back to this code here. And now we need to move this graphics layer, point, and all this code over there. So let's start from here, as we'll be moving this graphics layer, graphic, point. So all this imports with which we did here in the ArcGIS map view, I will cut it from here, and we will go to this component and we will paste it here. Okay, so now the next thing we have to do is we of course we will be using this useEffect hook here. So uh, let's copy this code. Okay, let's start with this one. I will cut it from here, and let's create the useEffect hook. So I will, if I go back, and I can directly call the snippet. Okay, we'll clean these things. Okay, so by like this empty array means like this code, whatever code it will be inside this useEffect hook, it will just run one time. If we give a dependency here, so it's actually called dependency array. So if we give any variable or a state value here, every time the state value will change, this useEffect hook will run, and it will get the updated value or updated data, whatever we are doing in this useEffect. So I will copy this one here. Okay, so we have imported the graphics layer here. So next thing we'll be doing is we'll copy this code from here, point, marker symbol, and graphic dot this also. So I will cut it from here, and let's go here. We'll paste this code here. Let's save it. Okay, so till now it's done. Everything is good. And If we come back here, there is this one more thing actually. So let's comment this one for now and go back to our application. Okay, it's working fine, but actually now we see there is no symbol or this marker on the map, which we had before. So now what we will be doing is because we have moved all this code to just this graphics layer. So this graphics layer is actually part of this map view. So let's come to this app.jsx component here. And here we have this map view. So this graphics layer, it's actually, we can say it's a children of this map view. So let's do some changes here. So these are actually different way to call the component in React. And so when we want to pass a children, we can do something like this. Otherwise, like when it's just a normal, we are calling the component, then we can do just normal like we have here. Okay, so now the component is ArcGIS graphics layer. Okay, so let's come here and we say ArcGIS graphics layer. Okay, yeah, so we will call this here. Okay, so now we can understand here we have this map view and this is the children graphics layer. Okay, and if we go here, still it's the same. Let's refresh. Maybe it will stop working. Okay, it's still working. Yep. So we call this graphics layer, and but still there is nothing. So let's go back now. Now what we have to do is if we look at our previous code, we have here something map view, which was adding in the, which was calling this map and then the add function here, and was adding this graphics layer to the map. So this is not happening now. So what we have to do is we have to pass this map view to this graphics layer. So we have to do something like this to add this graphics layer again to the map. So there are actually different ways we can do this. We can do using the props, which are default, and we have the we have the use context hook also, and we can also use the use reducer. So for this one, let's go with the yeah, we will create use context. So I will create a folder here, which I will give the name context, and okay, context, and here I will create a new file, index.js, and here we'll be creating our this context here. Okay, so let's import, create, yeah, context, and now we need to give it a name. So I will give it a name for map context, and oh well, initially it will not hold any value. It will be the default value, which is just an empty object. Okay, so we can also see this example here. It's just for a theme context to change the theme. And now the next thing we have to do is we will be exporting this map context. Okay, so now we have here a map context, which is have default value, which is a empty object. Okay, so now this context we will be using to pass the value from map view to graphics layer. Okay, let's close this one, and now we will be coming here. Okay, so what we were doing, we have this children here. Okay, now we need to get this children in the map view actually. So one way is to call this props, and we can check here console.log props. Okay, like this, just wanted to see what is inside this props actually. So it will be, I think it will not inside this props. Okay, if we look here, it has a children, and yeah, so children have this default some properties and key. Okay, so what we can do here is we can say props dot children, something like this. And let's see what we have here now. So it's actually yeah, this we can say it's an object. It's giving us the object here. And so we need this children here. So what we can do is we can actually use the concept of destructuring. So destructuring, it's very simple. Instead of doing props, what I will be doing is I will be calling this children here directly. And here, let's remove this console. We don't need this. And then we will come here and we will call this children. Okay. Yeah. So now what we are doing is whatever the children was, so which was our graphics layer, it's we are destructuring and we are getting this children here, and we are calling it here. So let's check our here we should see components. Yeah. So here we can see if we go here, this is our ArcGIS map view and this is our graphics layer. Okay. So here it till now it's successful. So the next thing we have to do is we will be passing this map view to this graphics layer, which is where it's needed here to add this graphics layer to the map. So for this one, what we'll be doing is we have our context here. So let's import our context. Okay. Okay, let's see why it is not coming. And okay, we go back one more folder and here in the context. Yep. So this is actually the default path here. And we have here this map context. So now we will be wrapping this children with this map context. So let's call this map context dot provider. So actually we'll be providing the value. So we need to call this provider here. And next we will be calling this value props here, which we will be used to pass this map view to the graphics layer component. Okay, so let's close this one. Okay, I will cut it from here and we'll wrap around this children component, children here. And now the next thing we have to do is because we need to pass this map view, so we need to create a state to store this value. So let's do it quickly. I will give it a name view set view. Okay, useState. And useState is just we can say a normal stateful value which is used to store the value. So it has two things actually. This is the value and this is a method or function which is used for updating or setting the value. So currently in the start it will be null. So I will give it a null value. Okay. And now I will come here and I will say set view and we will set this to the map view here. Okay. So now this map view it's stored in this set view here, which is the, so we call this set view and it will update the value in this view. So we can now pass this view to the in the this map context here. All right, let's save this one. Till now we're done here. We will remove this code. Actually, we'll move it to the graphics layer because we need it here. So let's let it like this for now. Okay. So now till in this component, our work is done. So now we pass this view to the graphics layer. So now I will come here and we need to get the value for this map context here. So let's import map context. Okay. So it's done. And one other thing we have to do is we have to use the use context hook. So instead of calling it separately, what I can do is I will call it here use context. We can read some little description about this. So it's used to call the value or get the value from the context. So which when we create a context and this use context, it will return the context value. So let's come here and we can do destructuring here. So we know our it's a value we pass here, it's a view. Okay, so actually we can pass it with other name also, like I can give it a name map view and view, something like this, but I'm passing it like just a view, so it will understand, okay, the key and the value, it's the same. Okay, so the key name is also view and the value, of course, it's we are passing this map view from here. So I will copy this one or can write it here, this view, and it's coming from use context. And here I will give it map context here. All right. So now we have our view here in this component. Okay, till now our application, it's still working. So and I will go back to the component. Okay, now we can see here it's a map view, and inside this we have this context provider, which is a wrapper around this graphics layer. So we are actually passing the value using this context. Okay, and the value it will show here in this graphics layer. So we are passing the view. We can see here this view map view object. Okay, so we have our map view here now. So now we can use this map view to display the marker again over on our map. All right. So let's go back to our code here. So now next one thing we have to do is so if I uncomment this code and I call this view here, okay, so it should work like, but actually it will not work. But if we see here, yep, so it's giving error. Let's clean it up a bit, refresh. Yeah, it will throw the error. So the reason is actually um, we have this graphics layer here, and all this code is actually we are adding the graphics layer to the like adding the graphic to the graphics layer, and then we are adding this graphics layer to the map using the view. Okay, so it will not work like this. What we have to do is we actually have to store this graphics layer also, we can say in the state, and we will create a separate use effect hook to update this like view. Okay, so let's create this graphics layer. So I will give it a name. So you can name it anything. I'm just giving it the name like this. Okay, so or we can start with anything. So we can give it the underscore also, something like this. And okay, we will call useState. Initially, it will be a graphics layer. It will be null. Okay. And now what we will be doing is when we are done adding this graphic, so we are creating this marker symbol, and we have this point, and we are adding this graphic to the graphics layer. After this, we will be setting this graphics layer. So now this set graphics layer, it will update the value for this graphics layer. Okay, so now we have this graphics layer in this one, and we can add this graphics layer to the map. Okay, so let's come down and we call use effect snippet. Okay, and we'll clean this up. Okay, all right. So now I will just move this code from here, and here we need to call graphics layer state value, which we have up. So All right, so let's save it and let's refresh. Okay, so it's still giving us some errors. So the reason is actually we are not giving any dependency array here. So if we come here, look, it's giving us like missing dependencies for graphics layer and v.map. So what we'll be doing is we'll be passing here our view. So whenever the view will change, then this useEffect hook will run. And the second value we have to give here is graphics layer. So whenever this graphics layer value is changing, so like whenever we're setting the graphics layer here, the value it's changing for this graphics layer, and it will run this useEffect hook for us. Okay, so let's go back to the code, refresh. Okay, still giving us some errors, which is for map, graphics layer component, and all right. So one more thing we can do is we can say when it have this value for the graphics layer, like it's not null, then run this then add this graphics layer to the view. Yep. So let's refresh. Yeah, it's working fine. So let's go here. Okay, so we can see our marker. It's back again here. All right. So the yeah, this condition is just for like checking because initially we're giving this a value null here. So it will check, okay, if this value graphics layer it's not null, then it will add it. Otherwise, it will like we can also put some condition like instead of like doing this, we can do something like if um, like this, and it will return nothing. So we can do something like this also, and then we don't have to write this condition here. But let's go like this here. All right. So this was our code, and we use a context hook here to pass a value from map view to the graphics layer, and we can see our map now have the same marker like before. Okay, guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye bye.